Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Today we're going to be taking a look at Scan. Of course, we love watching Scan, but it's more to take a look at Ruin. And I think this is actually a good map to do this on. I'll explain that in a second. But of course, Ruin, we just haven't seen that many games out of lately. He was becoming kind of a regular in ASL, making multiple ASLs, and then kind of has disappeared a little bit. He's still playing. I saw big things in his future. He had a game where he had Light pretty dead in ASL in one of his first seasons, in his first or second season. And I was like, yeah, this guy, he's always playing super modern, knows what he's doing, you know, fumbled that. But it feels like he hasn't really done what we've kind of expected of him. So, yeah, I want to take a little look. And I think that Litmus is a decent map for this because Litmus has a certain way that it's played, okay? We've been seeing lately in other Litmus games that I've watched that haven't been on the channel, a little bit more cheesing from Protoss. You know, Protoss, like we always talk about, you know, you have just this really kind of thin center. So everything is like a 5 or 6 factory push from Terran. And it's all about Reavers counter-pushing for Protoss, right? And then both sides managing the chaos that occurs. And, like, that sounds to me like something that Ruin should be pretty good at. Understanding, like, okay, this is how you play this map. He already likes speed shuttles, right? He already uses them a lot because they're pretty modern meta. And he's playing against someone like the Jack of all Terrans in Scan that does like literally every strategy and doesn't have a specific style. So like he should pretty much know what he's up against. Like Scan is almost certainly just going to go for you know, like a 5 or 6 factory push. So anyways, we'll see how that goes. And okay, he is gonna make the Zealot. I'm like, are you gonna make that or what are we doing here? So gonna open up with a Zealot, a little bit of pressure, and then of course go into the Dragoon. And the expansion, no doubt. Scan up here going for a factory expansion. It looks like, I mean, who knows? Maybe Scan does a cheese and 2 facts here. I mean, if I had to play this map competitively, I'd probably do something like that. I don't want to go into such a predictable 5 or 6 fact play every time. But yeah, it pulls the guys off gas. So very standard, very normal stuff. I don't think we're going to see any fireworks for a little bit. Nice little hit there on the SCV as it walks by. I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave. You know, I want to take this moment while we watch this Zealot strut up to the Terran base. So thank you guys for tuning in to ArtosisCasts. Yeah, you guys are fantastic. Thank you for subscribing, liking the video, leaving a comment, all that stuff. You guys are awesome. And yeah, the Zealot comes up and that's it. That was the pressure. The thing is, if it's like a gasless or a CC first or something, maybe the Zealot is a little bit annoying. And Scan does start the 3rd depot. As a rule, I think that this is correct. I've talked about this so many times. I would defend that against Light. I would defend that against Flash if he tried to say that it's better to just get, you know, to not make it. Like, I really think that's the case. So perfect micro here so far from Scan. Good micro from Ruin, too. You can't really deny that. What? I'm surprised he kept it that long. That gets dangerous, because if the Vulture comes out, you might just lose the Goon, as you see here. Is that worth? I don't think so. To get one more Marine? I think that was a mistake there for sure. Okay, he's going to start his Nexus, but it's actually after range. So he didn't cancel range to get it more quickly. And there are 2 Dragoons out, right? Oh, wait, well, no, 1 because he lost that one, which actually makes the move even worse. And he went 4th depot. Oh, okay. So what we see here from Scan is he's actually transitioning into an FD Terran build. So, you know, the FD, the fake double, I talked about this a lot in that big fantasy video because he did it multiple times. Where it's like FD push, which is Marines, mines on Vulture, and a siege tank. Sometimes 2 siege tanks. Here it's going to be 1 from Scan. He's already killed a Dragoon, so I don't see why not. And, you know, Ruin doesn't know that there's not an expansion. So this is super, super interesting to see Scan doing this, but not at all surprising because he keeps track of everything and does every strategy. So I'm sure he saw I'm not 100% sure, but I would assume that he saw Fantasy's games and was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, let's mix that in. Like, that's pretty good. Okay, so here comes the FD push, and he actually had one Vulture go around. This is huge. If Ruin holds this, he's God. Like this, well, the thing is, I don't think he's going to die from it, just to make that clear. But, like, I think Scan is going to get big value from this push, okay? He's already hit a mine there. He got a probe with that initial one. But to be fair, range finished, right? A lot of times this push hits and range is not done yet, so it does better in that way. Observatory's already done. One goon falls there. Another one is super low, and it looks like Scan is trying to hunt that, but great pullback. This very tight area is really, really good for Ruin. He's making it really hard to actually commit and get damage. I will tell you what, that was pretty godly of a hold. I won't take it back. Like, that was pretty impressive from Ruin. He really dealt with that well. Like, things, I feel like a lot of people there are going to take massive damage. And Scan's still doing a little bit. He's still got this mine here, but yeah, here comes the Observer. He just has to get out. He's going to be able to get that home now just in time. The Dragoons should not be able to finish that on the way because this is a retreating mine, right? So, like, and the thing is, Ruin knows that that should be occurring, where if he does continue to chase, like, technically the goons could catch the tank before it gets back here because they're faster, but you lay a retreating mine and the Observer can't catch up to the goons. They're not as fast before the Observer speed upgrade, so this protects the tank. And Ruin's aware of that. That's why he stopped here instead of chasing the tank. Oh, like a B rank player might just try to chase that tank down, and a B rank Terran might not have laid the mine, so it would have been the correct call in that case. So, where are we in this game? Armory Academy. So he's not doing the follow-up that we've seen from Fantasy, right? Fantasy likes FD Terran into 3 factory. Instead, this is like a more normalized play, and he's actually going into 3 gas extremely fast. So I believe what we're going to see from Scan here is he's going to focus on Goliath tank only for a little bit. He's going to get his upgrade. He's going to get range. He's going to get Goliaths for a little bit because he's already got 3 tanks, so you definitely want to pop some Goliaths. Yep, 2 Goliaths on the way. There's the +1. He'll get his comm stats. There, yeah, there's the Goliath range. So he's basically playing this awesomely. He's getting his comm stats at the moment. The goon's just kind of coming up. He's cleared a lot. Most of the mines on his side have been cleared out. There are a couple mines down here that Scan laid, which I think are nice. 3rd base being taken at this location. Shuttle speed on the way for his Reavers. All very standard. We should see Ruin go into 8 gates here and a Citadel. There's the off chance he'll go into 6. He does have an Observer in the base. So I could see him going 6 gates and trying to get a 4th Nexus. I think that's not a completely unreasonable play here. But I think that it's a little bit scary that Scan might end up getting him if he does that. No anti-air in this area, by the way. Really good Observer coverage. I'm actually really excited right now. This is a cool position. Like, this is a more interesting game for Litmus than most of what we've seen. You know, most of the games are exactly like the same thing over and over. There's at least a couple of slightly different, interesting ideas going on here. Starport. Look at this. 3 gas, 2 factory starport. Okay, so there's 2 different things that this can be from Scan. Hold on. Let's see what he does with the Reaver. Meh. He gets a tank. Oh, hey. I mean, that was almost a big hit. Yeah, so at the end of the day, that was pretty fail. I'm surprised that he really committed into that, but he will be okay because we see what Scan is doing. So let me talk about what Scan is doing here. So he got the very fast 3 gas. He's focusing on Goliath, a siege tank upgrade, and he's going into Science Facility. So the old way to play TVP would involve adding a third command center really quickly here. Okay? And just going upgrade Terran, you'll be like 8 fact or 9 fact, 3 base, 2-1 timing push. Okay, that's the old way to play. We don't really see that anymore. There is another build that this could be that is an older build where you go 7 factory while doing this. He should be adding a second armory, most likely. Oh, he's even getting the dropship with it. Damn. My guess, because of this dropship, is that he will actually expand to a third base. But he might add factories, then make the command center. I'm not entirely sure on that. But let's see. Let's see. I don't want to over-predict because we haven't seen anyone do anything like this in a while. Very, very interesting. So you can see this is the 8 gate that I was talking about. And the 8 gate in this particular circumstance should probably be utilized to bust. Normally, it would be a defensive measure on this map to go for the 8 gates, get a bunch of speed lots and all that, and defend the push that's coming out. But I don't know still. Is this going to be 7 fact or is this going to be 5 fact third base? +2 is on the way. He never did get a second armory, which is not necessarily like bad. Okay, yeah, it looks like it's probably 7 fact, but I could see it still being 6 fact and a command center. It could absolutely be that. All right, drops a Voltroff here. This is actually really smart, man. Holy crap. Another little drop going off. Looks like he sacked a Zealot to get an SCV, maybe. This is very, very smart. This is breaking my brain. Scan is so smart. I want to talk about that so in depth, but we have other things going on. God, this is smart. He's playing so against the meta right now. Scan is definitely making it into ASL this season. This is craziness. Oh my God, I got like chills. I want to stop the game. I want to just talk for 20 minutes about what we've seen here from Scan. Because, like, Ruin is playing very normally, right? Like, we've talked about everything with him and what we expect to see, and we definitely are seeing it. But he's being caught off guard from some things. So, basically, when you're keeping this kind of full frontal pressure on, you're going 8 gates and everything, the cannons don't come up very quickly. I noticed this really recently, and I had it in the back of my head that, like, a dropship timing could be good here, but dropship timings don't go into timing pushes well, and especially here you want to hit timing pushes. So what Scan has done here is he basically went upgrade Terran, like the old upgrade Terran from like 2017 2018, but he did it a little bit differently. He skipped second armory, afforded a dropship to punish the very unit heavy 8 gate, which doesn't have cannons yet at this time. And then he went into 6 factory to make up for his light units while going command center. He's staying super turtle during this. This is some really superb, like, metagaming coming out of Scan. He's playing very differently from how I've seen anyone play recently, but all of it makes really, really good sense. He should lift this. Thank you. When that's happening, you've got to lift and get shit out of the way. Okay, so Ruin here has set up a 4th base. This is still a competitive game. Like, Scan is ahead. I like Scan's position much, much more. I would take this position all day. But, you know, Ruin's got 4 bases. He's got a good amount of gateways. If he takes a good engagement, you never know. You never know. He can come back from this if Scan is a little bit sloppy. +2 attack is done. Scan starts +1 armor. He's got that 3rd command center. It is finished. He's going to have to float that out. He's got the science vessel. And I think as long as he's kind of scanning a little bit and checking what Ruin's up to, as long as, like, you're basically checking for Arbiter and Carrier, right? You have to assume that Psystorm is here. And there it is. Okay, he's utilizing this a little bit more as a bust. Makes the Archon to just try to tank a little bit of damage. Very good storms. Very good storms. Don't know about that one, but that's okay. That was good. That was decent. I can't fault at all what he just did there. That seemed very decent for me. We actually are going to get into a macro game on Litmus. This never happens. I have chills. This is so sick. Like, the way that Scan did this, it's like he took the meta and he, like, took all the weak points that Protoss has in the current meta on this map, and he adjusted into a build that is really good against it. Like, look at this. You can't tell me this isn't a great spot. Now, Ruin is taking another base here, okay? This is base number 5. So he's taking a 5th base against a 3rd command center, which I always say, you know, this is how you make Terran make a decision. But the thing is, if Terran can stabilize this, and I talked about this like probably 2 months ago, how the theory of stabilizing this, like once you get it done, the map becomes a lot better for Terran. So like, in my opinion, what you do here, and I haven't talked about this in a while because all the games have been exactly the same, is you expand here, and you push down and clear this base. And the thing is, you have, as long as this is your rally point and you keep this area really well defended, Protoss cannot attack through there. They cannot attack through here. This is really the only area that they can attack through. So as long as this is your rally, you're setting up mines, you have turrets, you have some siege tanks, you control this entire side of the map, and then you kind of push over here at your will. You probably wait till max and you go over here. And Scan's just doing this like so perfectly. This is such a good game out of Scan. Now Ruin is maxed, so we don't want to underplay what Ruin is about in this game. He's got his 5 Nexus. He's done so many things right. It's just strategically, Scan has been a bit ahead of him here. Now he does have a lot of Goliaths. Can he target? Okay, he focus fires really good. Damn, dude. Oh, here's the thing. The reason why you're dropping Zealots there is because if they haven't clicked the Goliaths onto the shuttle, you're going to get everything out. If they're just auto-attacking, they switch to the Zealot. But he was super fast to target those shuttles, and that allowed him to prevent the Zealot bombing and the additional Psi Storms that would have occurred. Excellent, excellent speed and defense from Scan. 4th command center setup. Dude, this is godly level play. Like, Scan's my friend. Love his play in general. Always talking him up and everything, but like, I'm not joking. This is one of the better played TVPs that I have seen. This is ridiculously high level from Scan. He's doing like, you hear the scans going off too. I'm not even bothering checking them, but he's checking for army movement and carriers, basically. That's all he needs to worry about. Is there a carrier switch? Where's your army? Those are the 2 things. So he's like scanned over there. He's checking army. He's like, okay, his army coming down here. Notice how he's pushing here. It's like Ruin could run into this and kill like that much, but he can't go all the way in. So Ruin is kind of rotating up here, but Scan's still got a lot of units. He actually should lay a lot of mines here. This is the only thing missing, is laying a ton of mines here. You put like a turret here or even 2 turrets and lay a bunch of mines and just have your tanks spread like this. The Protoss can't do anything. But here he might be able to. There's not a single mine. A lot of stuff is clumped up, so there's the potential there for that as well. Ooh, looks like he got some probes over there with his vultures. 55 probes only. So a little bit of damage there from Scan's harassment. But it's a big max. Big max that we have right now. 55 probe max. Like 4 years ago, we actually saw a lot of the stronger Protoss versus Terran players trying this type of... Well, this isn't something that he's strategically chosen. This is he lost probes. But we saw, like, for instance, Tulbo, when Tulbo was really coming up, like, about 4 or 5 years ago. He was doing a lot of, like, 55 probe, max out, gigantic army moves like this. Anyways, Ruin right now running into this 3 o'clock base. And you can see it's like you can't... The choke is too thin. You can't get in there. The best you can hope for is if you get a High Templar up there and get some storms off. But, like, this is so impenetrable. That's why just securing this area is number 1. So that you can get into here. And this is like, there's a, you know, this has an expiration date once Terran has the space. Woo! What a game. Interesting Nexus. He hasn't refilled probes here, unfortunately. Trying to break this area again. Dude. Okay, well, actually, he's going to get some Zealots up on top of these tanks. He's going to clear most of these tanks, if not all of these tanks. We need reinforcements for... Oh, my God, how many tanks do you actually own? He's producing 4 at a time. Dude, if you can get... When you're doing this, by the way, hear all those scans? Wait, those are the places he scanned? Huh. What I was going to say, and actually what he needs to do, if you're going so crazy that you have 4 factory add-on, you need to just constantly scan for carrier, because that's the only thing that'll stop you at that point, is a switch to carriers, where you've spent all your gas on siege tanks. Because if you're spending this much gas on siege tanks right now and they're not going carriers, the game is probably ending in your favor. GG. Okay, this game was insane. This game was insane. Scan played this so god tier, and Ruin played it very well, but he played how the map is played. Scan countered how the map is played. I think one of the small keys here, right? So he did FD. I think that was just based on what his opponent had opened with and how it had gone, and he had lost a Dragoon. So it's like, yeah, let's do this. But I think adding that dropship in was a really big key moment. Getting some probes, stopping mining, getting some probes. I think that was a big key to him being able to go into 6-fact command center, because the problem with builds like what Scan did is like, okay, so you're going for like an upgrade Terran-esque opener where you're on 2 factories for a very long time and going into science facility before your 3rd factory, is when your opponent's going for so many gates, they'll just kind of run you over. And if you take too long pushing out, they'll have Psy Storm with it as well, and it gets really difficult. But I think the slowing of the economy with the dropship is what allowed him to kind of just push out. And you saw there was still some resistance. There was still some resistance. Ruin was hitting up here. He removed a bunch of tanks as Scan was trying to push to this base, right? Imagine that, but no lost mining time, no lost probes. It would have been much stronger, right? So I think that this was a very genius part of it, adding in that dropship, because these 8 gators don't get cannons quickly. And he had covered, you know, the observers from seeing at least that part. There were observers in his base for a while. Anyways, ridiculous game. Ridiculous game. Let me know what you think about that one, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.